Hello everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent. I'm really getting into some of these magical items from the Forgotten Realms. Many of these haven't made their way into D&D 5e, but you could easily convert them from older editions. Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite deities of the realms, Savras, and the greater artifact, the Scepter of Savras. I've talked about the Scepter in previous videos, but the information was scattered, so let's consolidate it here in this video and see if you can incorporate this legendary artifact into your campaign. Savras is the god of divination in the Forgotten Realms. He was in the service of Mystra, the goddess of magic, and was considered the god of mages and wizards. His symbol is a crystal ball with numerous eyes peering across the plains and perhaps into the future. Before we get into the artifact, we need to understand the history of Savras and his rival deity, Azuth. Savras was originally a wizard back in early Faerun. In negative 339 DR, some Netherese wizards foresaw the end of their empire, aka Karsus's Folly. Links down below and in the top right corner for information on the fall of the Netherese Empire. And they fled south to a region known as Halrua and created a settlement. Halrua grew over the years and became a nation of wizards. Savras was one such wizard that lived there. Halrua grew, and because of their magical wielding population, were relatively safe from outsiders. They had to fend off a few attacks over the years, but prospered overall. The spell plague hit the whole kingdom hard. In 1385 DR, Halruan wizards divined the death of Mystra and the destruction of the Weave, so being prepared, they used the energy of the blue fire from the spell plague and shifted it to Abir. This act protected Halrua, but also moved it to Abir, where it hung out for all of 4th edition. The surrounding area became a magical wasteland. To explore this region, there was a chance you could contract Halruan consumption, a magical disease that lowered the effects of healing magic on the affected, but increased some of their arcane spells. The end result was always death, disintegration into a luminous pile of blue dust. It wasn't until the Second Sundering that Halrua returned to Toril and is now part of Faerun again. Halrua was a strong, magically inclined civilization with academies and colleges dedicated to the magical arts, a bit like a magical Lantan. The Halruan people crafted skyships, which assisted in trade and exploration. After returning to Faerun, these skyships were seen venturing out from the old wastelands of Halrua. So, Savras, a wizard of Halrua, eventually became a demigod under Mystra, the goddess of magic. When exactly and how this was achieved is not known, unless it's in a novel that I'm not aware of. Savras came into conflict with Azuth, who was a very strong wizard and also a favored of Mystra. Azuth's life as a mortal wizard is not well known. His story is the stuff of myth and legend. Hungry for power, Azuth went in search of lost empires to find magical secrets that would propel him farther in wizardry than any other. At some point, he became a chosen of Mystra, which made him more powerful. Azuth, a near divine mortal wishing to achieve deity status, battled the demigod Savras in hopes of taking his spot and becoming the deity of wizards. This battle lasted several years. Azuth crafted a magical weapon to assist him in this fight, a staff that later became known as the Scepter of Savras. The final battle between Azuth and Savras shattered a mountain and created a deep lake, but Azuth landed the last blow, and using his magically crafted scepter imprisoned Savras within it, which is why it became known as the Scepter of Savras. 4 feet long and fashioned from a gray-hued length of duskwood, the same wood that the famous black staff is made from. It has 9 star sapphires along the length of the staff. The bottom has a smaller diamond with the symbol of Savras on it, and the top has a much larger diamond with 1,000 facets and the symbol of Azuth. It could be used as a +5 quarterstaff, but the main feature of the scepter was its imprisonment ability, built to hold the essence of a god inside the large top diamond if said creature was physically struck by the staff. With this scepter, Azuth hit Savras, and he was taken inside the magical artifact. Once imprisoned, Savras was cut off from his worshippers, and his clerics could not receive power from him. This was scary because a deity cut off from their worshippers could essentially starve, as gods depend on their worshippers for power. Without them, a deity could fade away and never return. Now, Azuth could potentially utilize the power of Savras via the scepter and draw on the deity's strengths. However, Savras had enough divine energy and control that he was able to teleport the scepter away and keep it hidden from Azuth's divination and location magics. The scepter passed from hand to hand throughout the realms, none able to free Savras, as only another deity or a being which contained a portion of divinity could release him. It was a simple process if you met those requirements, speaking the imprisoned creature's true complete name 3 times while striking the ground. The Scepter of Savras eventually came into possession of Silune Silverhand, the Witch of Shadowdale, who is the eldest of the Seven Sisters. Seven Sisters of who? More info in the description or in the top right corner. She oddly enough did not release Savras and instead returned the scepter to Azuth. Azuth, who now had gained divinity and was a deity under Mystra, regretted his actions imprisoning Savras and after the time of troubles released him, under the condition that Savras would follow Azuth and serve him. After the release of Savras, the scepter teleported again and stayed out of Azuth's reach. It is unclear if this was Savras's doing or if the scepter had just inherited this magical fluctuation from Savras. Non-divine creatures who were imprisoned in the scepter would not age and could not communicate but were aware of the outside world. Savras was imprisoned for centuries and his divine energies leaked into the scepter. This gave the scepter new magical powers of a divinatory kind. By stating the name of Savras and a desired spell, you could cast any cleric or wizard spell from the School of Divination. The diamond at the top acted like a crystal ball to perform scrying with, and the range of those divination spells extended to any of the inner or outer planes. A creature being viewed by the Scepter of Savras could also have its mind read. These effects did not work on deities, though. Destroying the scepter is a mystery, but there are theories. It is said that if you were ever to use it against Azuth and imprison him, the scepter would break apart. Some sages believe that the answer was much simpler and an avatar of Mystra could snap the staff with their fingers. Azuth is now the deity of spellcasting, worshipped by wizards, and Savras serves under him as the deity of divination. Mystra is the goddess of magic, but Azuth is the deity of learning and understanding magic. Divine spellcasters or sorcerers would not worship Azuth. There is no study in innate sorcerer magic, but perhaps an arcane cleric with the wizard magic initiate feat. That could be fun. If you want to learn more about Azuth or Savras, there are links in the description to some Faerun Pantheon videos I did a while back. I've also linked videos related to Mystra and the Netherese Empire, which was the original home of the Halrua peoples. If I was going to make the Scepter of Savras for 5th edition D&D, I'd make it a +3 quarterstaff, because that seems in line with the other magical artifacts. Probably advantage on initiative rolls because of the divination aspect. The wielder could make a melee attack with the staff, and on a hit, the enemy would have to make a charisma save, maybe wisdom, or be imprisoned within the staff. You could use the staff as a scrying device. It has 9 charges, allowing you to cast any wizard or cleric divination spell of 1st through 9th level, using appropriate charges which would recharge at dawn. For fun, I created this in D&D Beyond. You should be able to use it in your game. Check out the link below. Could be a fun magical item to appear in your game. Items with a unique history are always more interesting than just a +1 longsword. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out the videos below for more Forgotten Realms information. I'd love to have you subscribe, and thank you so much for those of you who already are. Let me know if you plan on using the Scepter of Savras in your game, and I'll see you all in the next video.